So I'm Vernon. This is my beautiful wife.
I'm Heather.
I'm from England and I moved to America in 1979. I moved a mile away from Heather as a kid growing up.
And we went to the same church. We went to the same high school, but we never dated.
Yeah, she was older than me too, just gonna state
Just
that.
by a year.
Fast forward, I would pop in at college, right? I'd pop in just to kind of like, hey, how you doing? Sort of thing. Heather wasn't there, so I just left a note.
He left the note, called, we started running together, and then I think we were married less than a year later.
Fast forward to 4 kids in 6 years, right? We had 3 boys, 1 girl. 2015, 20 years into our marriage.
When I got married to Vernon, I was like, okay, I'm never going to struggle with sexual sin because I have this wonderful man, he loves the Lord, and we're together. But Satan knows our greatest weaknesses. And I think for me, when I am not in the Word, not focused, and seeking God first, obviously we're really vulnerable. In 2015, I would consider my mom my best friend. She died at 65. Losing my mom and then my oldest going off to college, life started changing. I was feeling more and more lonely, more and more vulnerable, and definitely under attack, spiritual attack, and thinking really only negative things about my partner versus how much I loved him. I started spending time with another man that I worked with, and then eventually I fell into temptation and we had an affair for 5 years. As someone that knew the Lord very intimately, became a Christian when I was 5 or 6, I knew what I was doing was a sin, but it was the spiritual warfare and the heaviness and being just in darkness overcame. And again, I wasn't sharing it with anyone. I wasn't telling anyone. I wasn't calling up any of my good friends that love the Lord.
So in between that time, I was, busy with life, and you feel like that separation happens. But, I have vices, right? I loved to be busy. I loved myself, right? And I was very selfish with my time in between that journey, that's for sure. To where I loved my wife, but I'd say it was all lowercase. Lowercase L, lowercase O, lowercase V, and an E. Not uppercase, not a love, which God intended me to love my wife, because I love myself more.
In 2020, my best friend, who is probably like one of the most faithful Christians that I know, we were having a quiet time, opening up our Bibles, and shared with her, made myself vulnerable and shared with her that I think I'm going to get a divorce. I can't do it anymore. The kids didn't need me. I actually was offered a great job in Montana. If I wasn't in any relationship anymore with an extramarital affair or anything, but it's like, okay, I'm alone. We don't have a relationship. I'm just going to go. And she said, ironically, her name is Heather too. She said, Heather, all that's important is to obey God. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters. And you're going to, I think Vernon's your best friend. And if you ever have grandchildren, you're not going to be able to enjoy that together. You're not going to be able to call him and talk to him about your day. She said, down the road, you could be with another man, but it's just another man. It's just a man, and all that matters is obeying God, and you want to finish the race strong. So as I was driving back to the airport, I just had this literally a 180, because I feel like I opened up my heart and I opened up my mind. I was like, you know what my first love is? Jesus. And as painful and everything that's happened, that I do want to fight for the marriage.
I did ask Heather, what's going on? Are you cheating on me? Of course, the answer was no. So of course, I prayed for change, Heather. Don't change me, right? I'm good. But on the car ride home, I prayed so I could love my wife. from the inside out, just deeply, for who she is in God's eyes. Just love her like I've never loved in my life. Went to work, woke up the next day, and it was like a light switch going off.
So God did this miracle literally simultaneously in both of our hearts, and we weren't even communicating. So I thought, when I came back and I thought I was going to take the job in Montana, that he was acting different because he didn't want a divorce, right? Not even thinking that God was doing such an amazing thing. And that's what's most important here with this story, is that God was literally rolling up his sleeves and saying, I'm going to fight for this marriage. You know, we were courting again, you know, before we even had kids, and that was 5 years ago. It's been incredible, but it's a daily thing of that if you're vulnerable and you're not in the Word and you're not talking to other people, Satan is so crafty and he knows he's going to attack marriages. Vernon demonstrated Jesus' love of forgiving me, even though in the Bible you cannot get a divorce if somebody has infidelity. It's like, okay, you've done this, that's the unforgivable sin. But he was forgiving and not holding a record of wrongs.
I think if I asked other people, they'd be like, what are you, nuts? Why would you want to share this story? Think of the shame and pain. Why would you want people to know what you went through? Why would you want to open your heart and say, hey, your wife didn't love you and was with another guy? That's the devil's voice, right? The only shame I want to expose is to the devil, right? I want to show the goodness of God. I want to show how great he was, how he showed up.
I'm very, very thankful that God saved our marriage and that he brought such an amazing man in my life. He's a great husband. So 30 years.